Yes, good evening. A fantastic game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 3, West Ham 1. It's myself, Henry from Henry Wright TV, and Josh from the Spurs Debate. How's things, mate?
Very good. How's yours?
Yeah, I mean, loving life. 3-1, London Derby, top four races on. You know, couldn't really ask for a better game. And now we've got our first guest of the fan cams coming on very, very shortly, which is Ross. Let's welcome him on now. Ross, can you hear us?
Yep, can hear you. What's going on, boys?
Yeah, not bad yourself, mate. How's things?
Great. Just got one thing to say. West Ham get battered. West Ham get battered. Everywhere we go. There you go. That's it, man.
What did you make of the game? Obviously, 2 goals for Son, 2 assists for Kane. You know, Bentancur's brilliance. Romero, very good. Sum it up for us.
All of them. Oh, my God. And Son heard the slander. You know, all the slander that was going on. Oh, he's out of form. Oh, he's terrible. He heard it. That's why after he scored that first goal, he did that one right there.
Yep.
Because he heard it. He heard the slander. So great to see that. So great to see Son get back to form and get back to doing what we all know.
How much credit does Conte? Obviously, Son takes a lot of credit for showing up and doing what he did, but Conte made the decision, and he said publicly everywhere, you must be crazy if you think I'm going to drop Son. Obviously, we give him a lot of credit, right? Because he's paid the manager back in the trust that he's been given, which is one of the most beautiful things to see in football.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Conte's a world-class manager. He knows, and he knows that Sonny has to be out there. I mean, he's got to be. You know, with it, you know, the times that he's been out. I mean, we've struggled. I mean, he's Kane and Son. I mean, you know, peanut butter and jelly. You know, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, he had a very good game today. Like you said, he struggled in recent weeks. I think he's had a lot of criticism from a lot of fans. Should he be dropped for Bergwijn, Mora? Should we change formation? This and that. And today, I think he kind of put a lot of the negativity towards him at rest. It was like, you know, that's what I'm capable of. On the watch-along, we said around, the 60th, 70th minute mark that maybe bring on Bergwijn or Mora. And then we was like, do you know what, keep him out there because he can actually take that chance and he will deliver. And, you know, took his chance in the second half. But let's start from the actual lineup. What did you make of that? When you saw like the formation and stuff? Was you happy or was you a bit more, you know?
No, I was happy. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, this is the lineup that's worked. I mean, and you know, lack of squad depth, that's been the problem all year long. And, you know, we just unfortunately can't give certain guys rest at certain positions. You know, you got to have those guys in there. So I was fine with the lineup, and it worked out great.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's 2 back-to-back wins now for us. 2-0 against Brighton, and then a 3-1 win over West Ham. Kind of yo-yo form we've had recently, have it? You know, lose, win, lose. Yeah. Taking a lot of L's and stuff. Conte, how much credit do you give him for coming into a dressing room? You know, it's kind of a bit. There's a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors when he first walked in. A lot of stuff with Kane, and he's turned it all around, hasn't he? And now we're back in the top 4 race. You know, how much credit do you give Conte on that?
Lots of credit, all the credit. He's been the difference. I mean, if you look at where we were with Nuno, I mean, you know, we were just terrible. And
that word
Conte
is banned on this channel, Nuno. it's like an old, it's like a skeleton coming out the cupboard, man.
I agree.
He's done.
He is. Yeah. But I mean, he came right in, and we saw the difference the first game. I mean, the first game, we already look better. You know,
can I ask you, Ross, how good was Spurs versus how bad were West Ham? Because there are fans that will say most top 4 contenders would have beat West Ham at home on the basis they'd have Jarrod Bowen, that Fornells didn't start, they're leggy from a really difficult night, you know, just over 48 hours ago. And obviously they've probably got one eye on that cup, which is a huge success for them. If they win that, it's the best thing that's happened to them probably in the history of West Ham. So, all things considered, were we, I don't know, were West Ham poor, or were we that good that we didn't allow them to be the West Ham that they can be?
I think we were that good. I mean, yeah, people are going to say, oh, they were tired, they were worn down, but you can only play who's in front of you. That's the way I look at it. And, when how many times have we lost when we had played teams like that? You know, where they were tired or we should have beat them and we didn't. So, you have to go out there and get the job done. And that's what the guys did.
And I also think people talk about West Ham being tired. We only played 24 hours before them.
Yeah.
It's not like we had a week off. Yeah.
The thing was we were in cruise control against Brighton. We should have probably put another 2 or 3 goals past them. Kane had that chance in early doors. He put wide. And then West Ham played a much, much different, Sevilla, kings of the competition, won it 6 times, 4 of the last 7 years, I think they've won it, or something crazy like that.
Do you think fans will start believing that Spurs are actually playing better football now? Because the goals are flying in, 3 today, 2 Brighton, add up the goals over the last 5 games, and I think, I don't know what we're on, 20-odd goals.
Find out for you shortly.
Someone want to do that in the background, would be great. But Ross, do you think we are actually playing better football, or Spurs fans refuse to believe that because of the constant failures this club reaches pinnacles and then fails? Are we being hard on the team? Are we being hard on ourselves maybe? That Spurs are actually playing some good, I'm not going to say champagne football, but even today we showed, moments of brilliance. So that second goal was brilliant.
Oh yeah, no, I think we are playing well, playing very well. It's evident, but as Spurs going to Spurs. We're all just kind of waiting for that. Yeah, we're all just kind of waiting for that thing to happen sometimes. But no, I mean, you enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy the wins. Someone said
I think
once,
the way we beat West Ham, I was more proud of that. As obviously the result's great, but the way we beat them and the way we continually pretty much stayed in the game and controlled the game, most phase of the game, we looked dangerous. There was 10, 15 minutes here or there where West Ham were in it and they created some couple of chances. But bar that, the way we won that was words like professional, and clinical. These are the sort of words we want to hear with Spurs, right? Professional, clinical. We don't get that. We normally get wasteful and complacent.
Not taking our chances, not good enough. A lot of negativity. You mentioned earlier how many goals have we scored. So in our last 8 games, from Man City to Burnley, Leeds, Borough, Everton, Man United, Brighton and West Ham, we've scored 19 goals in 8 games.
There you go.
And in 2 of those games, we didn't even score, which was Middlesbrough and Burnley.
Our goal difference has gone from what, -1 or 2?
-3.
-3.
Yeah, all the way up to plus
12.
Plus 11.
11.
Arsenal are on plus 13. West Ham plus 10.
Raining goals, man.
Plus 5 and Man United plus 8. So the goal difference is actually, getting there. We've only lost 1 in our last 5 games, which was to Man United, and we had a lot of chances that game. So there is form coming together. We've scored more goals than Arsenal. Arsenal, Wolves, 1 less than Man United and 2 less than West Ham.
Do you know, if you look at the average XG of Tottenham's, our XG over the last 5 games, I think it's averaged about 2, if not more. I mean, this game was 2.55, and 2 is a good XG. I mean, West Ham was 0.64. Just goes to show how good we were.
They just took their chance, We mentioned all week, every Tottenham fan, set pieces is where they're strong, know.
Yep.
And what do you know? They score from 1. Ross, I'm going to ask you the question just like I'm going to ask every other guy that comes on tonight. Will Tottenham make top 4?
Drum roll.
Question.
Drum roll. Have you got a drum roll in the background?
I don't know if I can say 100% guaranteed, but I think, especially today, we can keep playing like we're playing. I think it's there. I mean, I think you guys were talking about
who's got
earlier.
The tougher fixture list out of us? And I'm just going to say Arsenal because we want to finish above them, obviously. I think I know what you're going to say, but who's got the tougher run-in, do you think?
I think they do. They've scraped by a couple of times, and I mean, they barely beat Watford. They played Leicester with weren't they missing 2 people?
Well.
I think we got
the last game. They hung on, didn't they, for the last 10 minutes? Who was it? Villa. Yeah.
Villa. Yeah.
That wasn't. Yeah, they looked shaky. But yeah, sorry, you were saying about the fixtures.
Yeah, no, I think we do. I mean, I think you were saying earlier on the post show. Liverpool's really the only game I can look at to say, I don't know if we'll get that one. But the other teams they're winnable games. I mean, I don't look at them and say, I don't know. So if we can put a run of games together, don't drop too many points. Yeah, I think top 4 is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just can we go on a run? It's 9 cup finals. A lot of those games do favour us. It's,
Let's go through them. So,
Newcastle
who we got?
Home.
Yep, home.
Villa away, and judging the way, obviously we'll go on recent times, Villa were poor yesterday. You know, Ollie Watkins was isolated. Like
I think Gerrard's still trying to find out his first.
It was embarrassing for them.
He doesn't even know the system. Is he going with the diamond? Is he going 2 up top? He's still trying to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know.
So we've got Newcastle at home, Villa away, Brighton at home, Brentford away. That's our first 4. And then we've got Leicester, at home, Liverpool away, Burnley at home, Norwich away. So out of those 8 games, the only one, being honest, which I don't expect Tottenham to get any points, is at Liverpool, because notoriously we are shocking there, and I don't remember the last time we won at Anfield.
Yeah.
I think it was that Modric top bins. I think that's the last time we won.
That might have been the last time. But our home games with Newcastle, Brighton, Leicester, Burnley, and Arsenal. 5 home games. Arsenal will be tough, but we've got to be beating Newcastle, Brighton, Leicester, and Burnley. Yeah. Norwich and Brentford away, we should still be going and putting a comfortable performance. Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal really are the only tough that's going to make us work. Brighton have been very poor. We comfortably dispatched them on Wednesday, and we've already beaten them twice this season in the cup and away from home. Leicester, all depends if Vardy turns up. Newcastle, okay, they are putting a lot of teams under the cosh, but I still think we've got enough. And Burnley and Norwich, I mean, if we can't beat Burnley and Norwich, then we don't deserve to be in a top 4 battle anyway. I know they've already beaten us this season.
Yeah.
But at home, we should be. I
think it's so early, isn't it, to look 8 games ahead. Obviously, you don't do that in football. That's probably the worst thing to do, isn't it? But you do as a fan. But I stare at the table probably for 15 minutes every day, imagining like us in top 4 and blah blah blah. I'm working. I'm sure every fan works out all the combinations of the next 3 games. But let's talk about the weaknesses, right? So today, Ross, you watched the game, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Where do you still see weaknesses, and where is the team lacking? So like today, West Ham weren't great, but I mean a better team probably would have punished us. So where are the weaknesses? Where do we need to improve on? Like where are the areas of improvement?
I have to say wing back. I mean, that's been one of them. Reggie's good at getting forward, but just his end product, man, it's just I feel bad for the guy, but it's tough.
Agreed.
So I'd say that's probably it, really that I can think of a big weakness. Defense did well today. I mean, Romero just bossed it.
Yeah.
Midfield did well too. Good job, intercepting, breaking up the play. I would have to say probably the most glaring to me is probably at wing back. I mean, Doherty did well.
If the wing backs is the weakness in the squad, do you feel Conte needs to switch up the system, or do you think he sticks it out with the same team and system?
I think he sticks it out. I mean, I have thought maybe if we go to a back 4, play a little more centrally, that could help. But I think he's that's just the kind of guy he is. He's like, this is the way I play. I'm going to stick with it. I don't see him changing it. He might, but for the most part, I think he'll kind of still stick.
So
with
you'd stick it out with Doherty over Emerson? Is that your?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like the whole fan base is agreeing on that one, on the Doc over Emerson.
You just don't. Doherty has some end product. He can put across in every.
You showed that today. Yeah.
He's good at getting in the box.
He can offer things. Emerson Royale, I genuinely think he's the worst right back we've had in the last 20 years. I'm not putting the guy down, but we went from Kyle Walker, who was an elite right back, to Trippier, who was still okay.
I'd have him all day long. Back.
Right. Then we went to Aurier. Then we went to Doherty. Then we went to Emerson Royale, and then we went back to Doherty. It's just, we were playing Jaffa Tanganga as a centre-back at right-back.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to play Emerson Royale. Paratici had £30 million, and you can't tell me the best right-back we had to go and get was Emerson Royale. So Doherty has to start for me. He brings more to his game. He works harder. Emerson Royale might have a bit more pace.
Yeah.
But overall,
I think Emerson Royale in a 4. He'd probably play better in a 4. Because he doesn't have to do
more of a right back.
Yeah. He's going to get spun like a Beyblade every time.
Yeah.
I mean, we went. Who did we? I think it was. Who was his last?
He's not. Is Emerson even a wing back?
No, I don't think he is.
Is he a fullback? Is he a wing back?
Fullback.
He's a fullback.
That's what I think. He's more of that.
So we're playing someone out of position. Conte's playing well, obviously like Matt Doherty's more of a wing back. And he's not a fullback.
But look at Ben Davies. He's playing out of position at left centre back. He can still put a shift in. Emerson Royale cannot put a shift in. How many games this season have we gone, he was absolutely obscene today. Can we even say one game?
Yeah.
Look at Doherty away to Leeds. A goal and an assist. Today was pretty good.
Yeah.
Against Brighton was pretty good.
Yeah.
How many times can we go, that Emerson Royale was a quality.
Do you know one change I've seen in the tactics from Conte, and I saw it more today, is Bentancur helping out Matt Doherty when he's up the pitch.
Yeah, double up.
And that was missing because with Skip and Pierre, I always felt like who's going to do what. Like today, it felt like you cover that side, and when he's up top, there was a plan B, back me up. And there was a couple of moments where West Ham on the attack and Bentancur, cleaned up. Romero cleaned up on that side. It's almost like we know our own weaknesses now, and Conte's accommodating that side of thing. I mean, so we're sitting here going into the international break, Ross. We've got obviously a couple of weeks to hopefully get Skip back, get Sessegnon back in training at least. Who's the DMs, right? We've got, like I say, we've talked about it, Pierre and Bentancur. You sticking with that? Is that the go-to now? Is that the relationship that's pivotal, right? To everything almost, attack and defence. Are you saying just leave it? That's the one going forward now.
I think so for now. I mean, Bentancur, I call him Benta Sauce. I mean, that guy. That guy he's our best midfielder the minute he came on the field in his debut.
Yeah.
I mean, just right away. And I would like to see him paired with Skip, maybe. That could be interesting, I think. But I don't know the dynamics of that. I would say, yeah. I mean, again, ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think he's the most
PEH.
He's the most technically, and gifted passer out of the three of them.
Just the most technically best midfielder we've got. That little bit of play on the edge of the box.
Unbelievable.
When he had two defenders on him. Højbjerg won't do that.
Do you remember his debut? Within 2 minutes of his debut, he came on and he did the...
Yeah.
Where he's a technical, brilliant...
Do you know what I like about him? And he did it today. West Ham had 2-on-1. And he sent them both, packing.
Yeah, to the shop.
He turned both of them. And to have the confidence to do that, you're kind of heart in the mouth, right? You're kind of like, what the hell are you doing, mate? But then you're like, I don't want to lose that. Like you once.
Bella used to do that every week.
Yeah.
He used to put you right on the edge and then drop a shoulder and he's gone.
Yeah.
Bentancur can do that, and we thought we were getting that with Ndombele.
Yeah.
We thought we had, a brilliant plan. It didn't work out for work rate, etc. But Bentancur is, had Rice on skates at times.
Yeah.
And Declan Rice is a world class player.
Now we've seen Bentancur and Kulusevski do this in the last 3 games. What do you rate the transfer window now, Ross? I mean, I don't know what you did rate it, but what would you give it now? Do you think it was a good transfer window? Do you think, because the transfer window that we had was all about top 4, because we were not going to win anything else, to be fair. So how do you rate the transfer window? 'Cause I like to ask people this question because now they've had the opportunity to see the 2 players in thing, but we didn't fix the wing-back situation.
Or get potentially a playmaker or not. I know we got Kulusevski, who's he can be a number 10, but I still think we need, Coutinho would have been brilliant for us. He would have been
mate, Coutinho would have been amazing. But do you think that transfer window enough was done for the top 4 race?
It's looking like it now. I mean, Big Daddy Cool and Bentancur come in and
made a huge
instant
difference.
impact.
Yeah.
Instant impact.
Big Daddy.
I mean, we would. Yeah, Big
like
Daddy.
that
That's
name.
what Expressions calls him. Expressions calls him Big Daddy.
You nicked
Cool.
that
So
from
I won't
fair
take
enough,
credit. I did nick that, but I'll give him credit where it's due. Or Ginger Bale. That's what I call him.
Big Daddy Cool. I love that.
Kevin Nash's nickname.
Kevin Nash. Yes. That's why he did that, because he's a big wrestling fan. So he did.
Yeah.
But those guys have been amazing. I mean, Kulusevski. You just watch that kid, and that's a steal. We should be arrested for that. We stole that, man.
West Ham and Arsenal didn't strengthen in the window. Neither did Man United.
Oh.
And they've literally let us back in. Or Wolves.
No one did. I think we were the only team around us to actually strengthen, and the players we brought in. Fair play to Paratici. Everyone was saying, "Oh, you got Juventus' rejects," but both of them, Kulusevski and Bentancur, start for Man United at the moment. They start for Arsenal at the moment. Probably start for West Ham. So everyone can say, "Oh yeah, you got Juventus rejects," but then rejects have just played you off the park.
I think the thing is that Arsenal did all their shopping in the summer.
That's the thing. They went and spent 130, 140 million.
Yeah.
They should be pushing top 4.
Yeah.
It's not, Mikel Arteta, Pandemic Pep's doing this fantastic job. You should be there.
And
you
I was
should be there.
speaking to an Arsenal fan a couple of days ago. It says, "Yeah, it'll be an overachievement if we finish top four." I went, so where do you see yourself in this league? If you think that's an overachievement, then you're saying you're worse than you are.
Yeah, precisely. You never really get. You never really get an Arsenal fan who goes, "Okay, we were poor today." It's all, we were excellent. This and that. It's never a completely down the middle. But Ross, just before we get our next guest on, just sum it up.
Okay.
International break now. I think Kane, Højbjerg, Lloris, and maybe a couple of other players will be going, and then a lot of other players we've got will be staying. What do you want to see out of our next couple of games? Newcastle and Villa away.
Obviously, we want to see 6 points, but just continue this form. I think Conte said something about he's kind of sorry we have international break because we're on such good form. I agree with that, but it is what it is, and we get guys to hopefully they'll rest up, come back, recharge, focus up, and we can start to push.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Ross. Listen, thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, Ross.
Absolutely,
take
my
care
pleasure.
And enjoy the international break, and hopefully we'll have you on for the Newcastle game.
Awesome,
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Yeah, take care.
Happy fans.
Yeah. So what? I think everything he said, was pretty much spot on. Very well presented guy. What he said about his match reaction, spot on. El Clasico is only 13 minutes away, so
Forget the El Clasico.
A lot of people in the chat are interested in it. So
we'll keep you updated with all the goals and whatnot, chances, red cards, whatnot. Stay tuned, guys. And how many likes are we on?
132. We've got 875 people in the chat. 900 now. So make sure you are smashing that like button. Let's try and hit 500. Very, very shortly.
And I'm not sure if you sign up now, can you come on live?
Yes.
Check with the back end. If you sign up now to the membership, which you can do via the page.
Just press the join button next to
Press the join button. I don't know how much it is, just a few quid.
Yeah.
Support the cause. These guys, Ben and Sim are out at the game. They put their life and heart into this channel, and it's all to grow the Spurs communities across the world, guys. So please hit like, please do subscribe, and more importantly, please, for a few quid, for a pint, you can join this channel, and you can literally come on and have a chat and tell us what you think and get involved. So next caller.
Yeah, we've got Kyle coming on now. Kyle, is he there? Can you hear us, Kyle?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Perfect, mate. How did you what did you think of the game? Tottenham 3-1, back in a top four race. Beating West Ham, London derby. What are your thoughts?
Unbelievable. Like, Son sent West Ham back to where they came from, and he scored the goal of the season, like he always does. Like, this guy just loves scoring against the Spammers. Like, I know Kane didn't score today, but I think that's 39 goal contributions now to the pair.
Yeah, 39 goal combinations. They've got two more than Drogba and Lampard.
Yeah, so well done to Kane and Son. Like, they've now got 39, so hopefully they can do that. But we actually have Newcastle at home, actually. We beat them away earlier in the season.
Yeah, 3 goals to 2,
Yeah.
and that was that just before?
That was the Saudi takeover day.
Yeah, that was just before they signed Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe was
that was Matey's last game. That was Bruce. Steve Bruce's last game.
Steve Bruce's last game, yeah. And that was when Kane got his first Premier League goal of the season.
That's right, yeah.
And since then, he's just turned into an absolute monster.
Yeah, and where are the Sonny haters now? Like, people, he's off form, he's off this. Like, are you having a laugh? He done this to the haters. Like, the guy's now starting to find his form. Kane is on form at the moment, but yeah. Like,
Carl, can I ask you something, mate? Is it not the duty of the fans to get on the players' backs when they're not performing? Because sometimes that's the kick up the arse they need to perform. Because sometimes it's like the communication from the fans to the players. When it's great, you clap them on, you sing them on, you sing their names, you buy the shirts. When it's not so great, sometimes you got to let them know. Do you think the Spurs fans have been a bit harsh on Son over the last 5 or 6 games?
Yeah. I think they have, because, he scored against, Everton, was it? And, yeah, I think they have been a bit harsh on him recently, but he's got 2 goals today. I thought he scored the first goal, but it took a deflection off
Yeah.
the guy that Conte managed at Chelsea. But I thought he could have had a hat trick. He already did before. That was against Southampton when last season we won 5-2. But I thought he could have scored another hat trick. But it's going to happen against Newcastle when we win at home. So yeah, I'm calling it Son hat trick. And like I think, how many goals has he got in the Premier League?
He's
11?
level with
11 or
Diego
12.
Jota. I think it's 12 or 13.
12. Is it 12 or 13?
Yeah, so his best season in a Spurs shirt in the Premier League is 14 goals. So we have 9 games remaining. So he should beat. Well, he will beat that.
He'll have his best season.
You know,
then.
we've got winnable games coming up for us. Newcastle being one of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
and
fingers crossed he carries on scoring.
Who was your man of the match then, Carl? Who? I mean, there's probably a few nominations, but who'd you give it to? I think you're going to say Son.
you know that's the answer.
Yeah.
Sonaldo. Yeah, he was outstanding. And Doherty, another great performance. Like, I think we owe him an apology for what we said a couple months ago. Oh, we should sell him, but he's now starting to find good form. He scored against Leeds, goal and assist, and I think he's our first choice.
The only thing I'd say about Matt Doherty is that corner that was given away for the goal. I thought he was a bit. Obviously, he didn't mean to give away a corner. No one does, but that's where you want a better decision being made, where you just kick it out for a throw in or lump it up the pitch.
Just get rid of the ball.
I think that's where Matt Doherty maybe gets confused, and I think that's probably more a mindset thing than it is just physical ability. But you could blame the other flank as well for making mistakes. He's not the only one.
Yeah, I blame the other guy. But yeah, brilliant win. Now roll on the international break. 2 games coming for England. But there's one game I'm excited for. That's Portugal or Italy. One of them has to miss out on the World Cup. But who do you think's going to miss out of those two? 2 former champions of the Euros. Portugal, what, Ronaldo?
I was going to say,
I think Italy will win the World Cup.
Ronaldo turns up. He lives for these moments, you know, against the odds, and
He does, but people need to realise how good Italy are.
Yeah.
Mancini is a world-class manager. You know, look at the players. You've got Donnarumma, Jorginho, Verratti, you know.
Bonucci.
Yeah, Bonucci. They've got warriors in that team. They can grind results out.
It's quite a good.
Amazing how Ronaldo is, and he does love the big moments.
Yeah.
Italy, as a team, collectively, I bet. I mean, they've got Chiesa as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They've got a lot of experience.
Euros to shreds, didn't they?
Are you a fan of international breaks, Carl? Do you think we need one now, or do you think you'd prefer we didn't have one?
I would prefer if we didn't have one, but I think when we come back from international break, I think we always seem to win when we come back from the international break. That I think we always seem to do. But Villa away, they were poor yesterday against Arsenal. They're not going to get Europe. Coutinho would have been a good buyer. I think we were after him before the start of last season, weren't we?
I think Coutinho wanted guaranteed playing time, and he gets that with Stevie G. And you know, I would love him at Spurs. I think most teams would want Philippe Coutinho in their team or squad at least. But I just felt like that signing was done over WhatsApp before the transfer window even opened, because you're chatting to your best mate, and they just rolled out. Yeah, he wanted playing time. He wasn't getting playing time. And I don't think that was a complete money-based decision. I think Coutinho just wants to play footy, and he probably. I mean, who would he start? I mean, where would you play him even? Because
if we played Coutinho, I'd change formation to a 4 at the back.
Yeah.
I'd go as a midfield. I'd put Højbjerg, Bentancur, and then Coutinho, Kulu, Son, Kane.
Yeah.
Back 4 of.
Yeah, I'm not sure he would have walked into Conte's system as it is.
You say that, but under Inter, he did have who was their number 10? Lautaro Martinez kind of played that free roam number 10, and Lukaku was the main threat. So
potentially
he has the ability to switch up, and he has got a lot of criticisms recently on why have we not, changed formation. But like Ross said a second ago, if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's back-to-back wins now. We go forward the last 5 games we've won. We're building some form. We've got favourable fixtures coming up. We just need to keep this consistency going.
Yeah, and that's the key word, isn't it? Consistency. Because 4 wins out of 5. About 3 weeks ago, we were in a crisis.
Yeah, three or 4 weeks ago, we lost back-to-back games to Wolves and Southampton at home.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even get a shot on target.
So how much credit do we give this team? Because we're quick to jump on them when they fail, and rightly so, because this club should be in the Champions League. This club should be challenging for major honours. But let's be honest, guys, about 3 weeks ago, I was looking at it thinking, you know, Arsenal on form, you know, United beat us obviously recently. They are showing bounce back ability. And that's not something we've generally had at Spurs, that bounce back ability, especially when the pressure's on. So I think the boys, obviously Conte, and the boys deserve huge credit for bouncing back from some mini moments of like crisis. You know, the 2 losses, went to City and won. Recently we put a run together. Boys deserve a lot of credit. They've showed a bit of grit, and maybe that Spursiness is starting to fade.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Carl, any last words? What are your thoughts going on to the international break?
Like, I want to probably wish Kulusevski good luck with Sweden, and he wants to take them to the World Cup. Like, good luck with that. And, like, when we come back from international break, we go again. Like, we've got 3 games on Sky Sports, Newcastle, Villa, and then Brentford on the 23rd of April. So, Brentford, I know they lost today, but, yeah, we can still beat Brentford.
They got Eriksen as well.
Yeah, Eriksen, the set piece, like we all know what happened at the Euros. I think he had a cardiac arrest, like Fabrice Maramba did. But yeah, glad he's doing good, and he didn't play today because with COVID. But like, hopefully we can give him a good reception when we go to their ground, and like we did with Delhi. But yeah, I expect us to win those 3 games, and I think that basically makes us finishing above Arsenal. They can't catch us, but they lost to Liverpool. Like, they've not scored a single goal against them. So, but after the international break, like, the North London derby still needs to be rescheduled. Like, could be the last game this season, but that's the game I'm definitely going to.
What do you make of Arteta's complaints about the fixture list?
Oh.
Well, grow up, you Spanish prick. Stop moaning and just keep our name out of your mouth, because you bottled the North London derby. You know you were going to get destroyed if you come to our house. You've lost like 3 times. He's lost at our new ground 3 times, and like we beat them the first North London derby with no fans. Toby Alderweireld, big up. He actually won a trophy a couple of days ago, so congrats to Toby. And he's Tottenham through and through. Like, I know Man United wanted him, but nah, he's Tottenham through and through. Well done to Toby, and he's going to be watching our remainder of the games. And why did we sell him? I don't know why. I blame Daniel Levy for selling Toby, because him and Jan were the best centre-backs we ever had under Poch. But, like, why would we sell Toby in the first place? This guy was brilliant. But, yeah, great win today. And
Brilliant.
as always, Levy out. Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks for coming on, Carl.
Enjoy the night, mate.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Big up, Carl.
Bye.
Yeah. Right, we haven't got. There's not anyone waiting. Any 3-1.
Yeah, I think all the fans out celebrating, man.
Yeah, I mean, if they are, I mean, have a nice evening. We've still got 800 people tuning in. You know, just
Jump on.
Yeah, anyone
hit
wants
the
to
join
jump
button.
on, link is in the chat.
Come and have a chat with us. Tell us about your thoughts on the game. So Sonny, man of the match on Sky, and I just about gave it to him. Bentancur was probably his best game in a Spurs shirt.
That comment you just said to Carl about Arteta's fixture pile-up. We've played more games than them in the last 20 days.
Yeah.
We haven't moaned. Man City have played more games. Liverpool have played more games.
Yeah.
It just seems to be that club, any excuse
moan
to have a moan, they will do it.
I think he's trying to play mind games, But I think what he doesn't realise is he's a novice at it, because
Yeah, you're
if
not
he's
Mourinho,
trying to
mate.
wind up the Spurs fan base and Conte before we play, because he knows we're there on the coattails, right? He knows, Spurs win against West Ham and it's all back on. And I don't know if he's just trying to play mind games. He's trying to wind up Conte or wind up, United, or because he's got everything can go wrong with him with Arsenal now. They've been winning, and everyone's talking them up, right, about top four. But you know what happens when you do that? You then have the biggest drop of your life if you don't perform. And sometimes managers look at that and think, I don't like the hype. I'd rather be, in the background, just winning, picking up the points, and I'll get excited in the summer when we actually finish top four. I'm not sure if he's looking at all this hype about Arsenal. Everyone's talking about how Arsenal are playing like this and playing like that, and how blah, 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 Odegaard, blah, Saka's playing the form of his life. Great, great, great. But I quite like the fact that we've just sneaked up. Don't get me wrong.
Just done our business in the shadows.
Yeah, we were above
quietly.
them. Christmas, we were above them. Yeah, we had the gap, a little mini gap there. And we let it slip. And it's so nice to just creep up on them now with all the hype they've been getting this week in the papers, and let the pressure stay on Arsenal. Let them feel the heat and let them feel the need to have to win, because if we win and beat Newcastle at home, which I think we will, we sit back, smoke a cigar, have a glass of whatnot.
Do we play before them?
We play before them 24 hours. So we beat Newcastle. Tottenham players can go home on that Monday or Sunday. Can't remember what day it is.
So we play.
The 3rd of April. We go home.
That's a Saturday, is it not?
Is it Saturday? Okay, we go home. We get the 3 points, right? We go home. And then the pressure's on Arsenal.
Yeah.
The pressure's on Arteta to get his tactics right. Now he's going... The game they've got. What's their next game? What's Arsenal's next game?
So Arsenal's next game is.
Is
their
it
next 5 games?
Is it New? No, it's, of course not Newcastle. We're Newcastle. It's In fact, I'll tell you now. Arsenal's next game. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Is Palace away?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and that is on the 4th at 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure it's Monday
Yeah,
night.
they got a Monday night game, and
That's
they've got
it.
Brighton, and then they've got Southampton.
Yeah.
But this is where you'll see how strong Arsenal really are.
Mentality.
When
Now
you've
they're
got
young.
Chelsea, United, and then West Ham.
They're a young team, right? It's all been put together, right? And they're doing really well. Hats off, whatnot. But if we beat Newcastle, which I think we will,
Yeah.
that sends a huge message out.
Puts all the pressure back on them.
Pressure's on, man. Pressure's on Arsenal. And the thing is, one thing we know about Arsenal going over the last few years is they bottle it as well. So whilst they're playing really well, I think the timing of us to just creep up on them now, win the next game, maybe wait, joint on points. Yes, they've got a game in hand. And then they go to Palace. And the pressure's on, mate. And just whilst we're on the fixture list, you mentioned there, Arsenal have got Palace away next, and then they've got Brighton at home.
Yeah.
Southampton are getting their defenders back, and they've got Southampton away.
Yeah. And then
Southampton with their defenders are a different team.
100%.
We've seen that with
We need
Southampton.
someone like Kyle Walker-Peters to do.
Kyle Walker-Peters and co. And then they've got Chelsea away, right? And Chelsea, they've gone into siege mode.
And they can't have any away fans there either.
There you go. And then they've got Man United at home. So come the 23rd.
I think they'll beat United. I think they will. I don't think they'll beat Chelsea, and I don't think they'll beat West Ham. It all depends. If West Ham get through to the next stage of the Europa League, they've got bigger fish to fry.
But the thing is...
Can we win
Yeah.
when they lose to Chelsea? Can we win when they drop points? We've still got Liverpool, which as a Spurs fan, I just write that game off because I can't even remember the last time. The last time we got a point there was when Wanyama scored that absolute worldie.
Yeah.
When it basically broke.
We're away to Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always struggle against them.
That can be a Conte masterclass. If the players want it to be, that could be a Conte masterclass. Sit back, soak up, and we've got the best counter-attacking players in the Premier League in Kane and Son. There isn't a better passer, and there isn't possibly a better offside trap beater and finisher than Heung-min Son. You could probably put Jota in that and obviously Salah in that, but we're playing them on the day. So if you nullify them against...
But it's the midfield. They'll suffocate us. They've got, they've got Keita, Henderson. Yeah.
I think that could be. I think that could be a Conte masterclass draw. I think that could be because if we go into that,
hand off for a draw.
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, who wins at Anfield, anyways? Who wins at Anfield?
Precisely.
So, a win's just out of this world. But that could be a masterclass. And we've actually got probably one of the best player profiles in the league for that counter-attacking style. And Leicester won the league doing that, So who knows, mate? Who knows?
Vardy,
I don't.
Mahrez, on.
Mahrez, Conte and Vardy and whatnot. So I think the Liverpool game, mate. Maybe I'm looking far too ahead because, mate, we still got to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
How many games out of those 9 do you think we've got to win to get top 4?
We've got Ryan in the background. We'll bring him in it. How many games? Sorry.
Out of those 9, Arsenal still got 10. But out of those, say they win that game in hand to go level with us.
Yeah.
There'll be 6 points clear still.
Yeah.
They've got a game in hand.
Yeah.
Out of those remaining 9 games, how many have we got to win?
I'll flip it like this. I think we can only lose 2, right? On the basis we don't lose the North London derby. So if we lose against Liverpool and either we draw a couple or lose one more, whichever way we do it, we drop points, 2 or 3 points. As long as we beat Arsenal in the North London derby, I think this one's going to go down to the final day. And it might even for the first time ever go down to goal difference, which I can't remember ever happening. I
think they finished above us once on goal difference in the top 4. I think it was like the season where just as Bow went.
On goal difference, yeah? What season was that?
We had 11, 12, when...
Okay, yeah,
12, 13, when Bow scored that absolute worldie against
Who was our manager? It wasn't Redknapp, was it? No.
No, it might have been...
What, Yo?
No.
Whoever it was, 2011.
Villas-Boas, I think it might have been.
Oh, was it Villas-Boas? I mean, the thing is, and we'll get Ryan on in a minute and get his views, I don't want to look too ahead because... You just don't do that in the Premier League. We've got to take it game at a time. And I think the mentality from Conte will be to the Spurs players, don't get ahead of yourselves. You've won 4 in 5. You've scored 19 goals in the last 5 games. Yeah, 19 goals.
In the last 8, yeah.
Sorry, last 8 games. I think we've let in maybe 7 or something like that. So things are looking very rosy for Spurs right now.
In the last 8 Premier League games, we've conceded.
We've got Kane playing very well. Sonny's back. Yeah, I don't think he was really gone, but he's definitely back. Kulusevski has been a phenomenal signing from the get-go. Bentancur is giving us an option that we've not had in that position of the park, that the silky skills and the passing play. We saw that today.
Yeah.
And, Romero's back, playing well. I mean, he had a bit of a shock against United, but, today he showed what he can do. We're not going to play a Man United every week. In fact, we're only playing Liverpool. If you look at the teams above us, it's only Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
I say that above us, but they are by 3 points. So every other team we're playing is like mid-table or 14th.
Bottom 10.
Yeah, and they've got nothing to play for. So what we need is Norwich, we play on the last day of the season. They'll probably be relegated by then. Brentford, we play in 5 games. They might be relegated by then. We don't know, but they're in free fall. Actually, no, to be fair to Brentford, sorry, no, they've picked up some form, Brentford, with Ericsson. But you never know. They might be more or less done and out by then. Yeah. If not, it'll be they'll be well up for it because they'll be fighting for everything. The other teams, I look at it, apart from Brentford and Norwich, who's fighting for what? Brighton are safe. Villa are safe. No European football.
Just pride, isn't it?
Leicester are Europa Conference League. Liverpool, obviously, we've said, we take a draw. They're going for the title. And Burnley might be in a relegation battle then. We don't know.
Norwich will already be down.
Yeah.
So it's like Norwich are playing for pride. But you can bet your bottom dollar, if we have to go to Norwich and win to get top 4, there's no way we're winning that game.
Yeah, I don't think Norwich will be alive then. I think they'll be done and dusted. Burnley might be alive.
But it's just pride, playing for pride. All of a sudden, Pukki will turn it on and the geezer will score a hat-trick against us.
Anyways,
things up.
Let's see what Rohan thinks about this, the run-in and the performance today. So, Rohan, if you can hear us, then...
how you doing?
Yeah,
can
brilliant,
you hear me?
mate. Yeah, really good, mate. Really good, mate. Really good. Right. What did you make of today's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good game. I thought, especially in the first half, we played very, very well. As a Spurs fan, you always go through the ups and downs. And I think the first half was relatively stable and we looked good. It was just a real shame to, again, have concede a goal on a set piece. I think in the second half, from about minute 60 to 80, it got a little, the pressure turned up. But I think we soaked it up pretty well. We probably should have scored with that Kane chance. But then after when Son scored, I mean, then that was it, game over. And I thought that this was one of our better performances of the season under Conte. But it's looking now like the spine is extremely strong, right? So our three at the back, Bentancur and Højbjerg, it's a great partnership. Our front three, obviously, it's just the wings that is lacking. But I think that'll just have to be something to solve next season. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is if we get injuries, then I think big problems arise, because we are really relying on this same starting 11, which is fine. I think if one of our front three got injured, we would, Lucas and Bergwijn could come in, but that would make things a lot more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah, how do we reintroduce Lucas back into the team? Because there's been quite a few fans saying he's a workhorse, and he's definitely got something to give to this system, to this team. Do you agree with that, or do you think you just keep going with what we're doing with Kulusevski up there and just keep the same team and just bring him off the bench? I mean, are you someone who would change it up now or stick to what we're doing?
No, I think I would stick to what we're doing, but I think you'd have to bring him on off the bench earlier against teams who are playing in a really low block. Just to, because his dribbling is good. And the only problem with Lucas is that sometimes he has a great game, sometimes he's totally quiet. So you don't know what you're going to get. But I think if it's like 60, 70th minute, it's still 0-0. We cannot make any sort of, we're not doing anything. Then I think it's probably worth bringing him on. Possibly even taking off a wing back, going into a 4, and then trying to do that just for the last 20-30 minutes might be the way to go. But I probably wouldn't start him in a certain game.
Yeah, I mean, that I looked at the benches of both teams, and probably we had the more impact players coming off. I mean, we both said, and a lot of the chat said that they would have subbed Son off for Bergwijn, and we kind of were like, no, maybe keep him on because Son's got that goal in his locker. But they brought on Fornals, Yarmolenko and Vlasic, and we brought in Emerson Royal, Bergwijn, Mora. But apart from Bergwijn and Mora, we don't really have another option, do we, off the bench? We don't. It's always the same sub. It's always, Son for Bergwijn, Mora for Kulusevski.
Yeah.
That we don't have. You don't want to rely on Sanchez. You don't want to rely on Winks. Galini's obviously never going to get game time, and Harvey White and Scarlett are just youngsters. And Joe Rodon hasn't probably seen a game now. I don't think he's played under Conte.
No, I think with us we haven't got game changers off the bench, but what we've got is just kind of a reinforcement of the same system.
Just energy.
Just energy. That's it. So whether it's Emerson, today we saw that coming on, whether it's Skip or Sessegnon coming on or starting, it's just a replacement, but it's not an enhancement. Yeah. And that's why our squad depth is not good enough to challenge anything above top 4. I don't see our squad challenging above top 4.
If you would have said beginning of the season, if I would have said to you and Rohan, we're going to get top 4, and
not on the squad we had.
Yeah, but so we're going to have Antonio Conte.
Yep.
So bearing in mind,
we're dreaming now, yeah?
Time. If I said we're going to get top 4 and we're going to have Antonio Conte, you would have bit my hand off.
100%.
Now are genuinely in a race. In my opinion, it's two teams.
Do you know what it is? What it is for me is we're still players short, and we don't have enhancements off the bench. We have a replacement, if not a slightly weak replacement, because Mora, should have scored more goals in his Spurs career. I like him. I like Lucas Moura, and I think he really tries and he wins back the ball, but his final decision making again has been poor. He's like 50-50. You know what Lucas Moura going to get. I feel like with Bergwijn, hasn't kicked on really, and I feel like after that, like you just said, the subs bench today you're looking at. We were talking about this around the 70th minute, saying, right, what do we do to get the win? And Conte's got the same problem, right? He's sitting there going, "Wow, who do I bring off the bench?" It's almost like he brings them on to close the game rather than win the game.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
I think if let's say one of our attackers get injured, and we want to then stick with someone for a while, I think Bergwijn might actually be a better shot because he just doesn't get a run of games, so we don't really know. So in that sense, it's a bit of an unknown quantity. But like we know that the guy can make an impact. You know,
Look at
like
Leicester
he
game.
really, he can. Yeah, exactly.
I love how we look at the United game for Lucas and the Ajax game, and now we've given Bergwijn a game as well, and that's the Leicester game. I love how we have these like go-to performances that we say, oh, but we've got.
But even-
But you make a good point at the same time. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it is only 1 or 2 games, and we do need more consistency. But I think it's a valid point.
yeah,
You know, you're going to get more out of Bergwijn than Lucas Moura. I mean,
yeah.
all due respect, Lucas Moura is kind of living off the Ajax game now, isn't he? He doesn't really do much.
You're not a more sexual than, are you?
No, like it's you know, that was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Only 4 players in the Champions League history have ever got semi-final.
It will never happen again.
And the other 2, I think, are Ronaldo and Messi. And I think it's Thomas Müller or Lewandowski. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
that game was unbelievable. But since then, you know, I don't even think he's got 20 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
You know, we kept Lamela for nearly 8 years, and he only had 17 Premier League
I think
goals.
what we've seen with just Kulusevski in these last couple of months
He's miles better than Lamela
is
was.
the difference between
Now, forget the Rabonas, because that's all Lamela did.
yeah.
But Kulusevski is technically
Yeah.
a better player than Lamela.
But
Lamela used the
let me
ball
ask
roll
you this,
next
right?
week.
I'll ask you this, right? This manager and this system and all his tactical, you know, intelligence and his motivational skills, his coaching skills. The guy's a winner. You know, the guy brings, you know, half the wins, you could even say, down to the way he works with the players and the way he sets the team up. Would some of these other players have performed better under this setup? Because sometimes, you know, you could put a good player in a team which is not playing well. You know, the system's not working, and you don't see the best of them. I look at Bergwijn and Moura in this coaching setup, in this system. We might be yet to see the best of them because they've got the platform to play the kind of expansive football that maybe they can do, but they've never been able to because they've not played for such a good manager.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that again, we just haven't really seen them enough to know. Lucas, we've seen a bit more of, and I would actually have thought that Lucas would have played better in the system because he doesn't have to go all the way out to the flanks, right? He can kind of play as a number 10, the sort of 2 number 10. But I don't know. I didn't really see much of Lucas. Bergwijn, again, you know, with obviously Leicester, right? But I think we shouldn't forget about playing against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. I thought he was really good in that game. You know. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that so many of our players look better under Conte.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you know, it's like these players that we had
Matt Doherty.
Doherty. I mean, I still, I don't know. I'm still very reserved about that.
Yeah. I think going backwards
we can also say that Doherty's had like 2 good games. You know. But
he looked absolutely done and out before Conte. So
so it was like the worst player I've seen in my life.
So I think we have to give
You got to give him credit.
you got to give him credit, and we've got to give the thing is Bergwijn's been huff and puff. Lucas Moura's been here a long time now. You almost think, do you give them one more season at Spurs under this consistent? Finally, we've got some rhythm and momentum, right? And you keep Conte. Well, hopefully we keep Conte into next season, and you keep them as squad players. Or do you think? Like
I think keep Bergwijn because he's still younger and we don't know where he can go. Lucas is how old is he? Like 29 or something?
28, 29.
28.
Yeah.
He also like might want to leave, and I think he could rip up another league. I think he could absolutely rip up another league.
Yeah. Back to the French league, I think he'd do quite well.
He'd do amazing. Yeah. But I think you know, all the credit goes to Conte into this, and we don't even know the limits on some of the players, which is great. But I want to make one maybe slightly controversial point in terms of managers. And don't get me wrong, like the fact that we have Antonio Conte is amazing, right? Especially compared to Nuno earlier on. But I do think in some ways that Nuno was a bit set up to fail, in the sense that he really was basically pressured to not play 3 at the back, right? Like, because everyone was like, oh no, we need an attacking manager, we need Spurs DNA. Levy was only convinced because Paratici showed him you could do 4 at the back. I mean, I actually think that in the beginning, Nuno should have actually done a 3 in the back. and he should have got signings that facilitated that formation. So not someone like Emerson, who I actually don't mind that much, but he's not a wing back. So I think Nuno should have done that. And if we sacked Nuno but had bought in better players for the system, then that would even be better. But I know that's slightly digression.
I mean, not long ago we had Dele Alli. Seems like a distant memory
Can't
now.
even get a game at Everton now.
Yeah, we had Tanguy, throw your toys out the pram. We had Lo Celso, that's it, who either in the treatment room or frustrating as well. And previous managers have had to deal with these bad apples. They've not had Bentancur, they've not had Kulusevski, they've not had Emerson, who's not been great, obviously. Galini's come in. And so they've had to deal with the dead wood and the dead apples, or, the bad apples. So, yeah, there's a point there to be made that you are sometimes as good as your tools. And, an upset Harry Kane, we have to add to that list because he was, that's your best player. So, yeah, Nuno maybe, with these players better. But I still genuinely think that he wouldn't have got what Conte is getting out of this lot right now, because I just think Conte knows what he's doing. Yeah,
he's a real. I mean, he's a top coach, right? Because that's the thing. Like, he's making Ben Davies look like a very solid left centre back.
He's getting the best out of him. Yeah.
Getting the best out of him, and so then that's fine. Yes, we need to find a better left centre back. But
I think the thing with Conte is he breathes, smells, and just gives off a winning mentality in every, whether it's in a press conference, whether it's on and off the pitch. The guy's a born winner, man.
He just wins.
Yeah, and what's that worth in today's, football?
But then again, we also, not being negative, Nelly, we also had a born winner in Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, we did.
We've got more trophies than Conte.
But would Jose with this squad have done better? Definitely. With
I don't
these
want to
players,
be that guy, but we went for a patch under Conte where Jose had better results that early on. The difference we've got is Conte is in his prime. Jose
but the thing is,
Conte right now he's the man.
Jose would definitely have done better without the bad apples that he had, and with a Bentancur and a Kulusevski. But you can argue Gareth Bale, what you could say, still world class, had ups and downs with Jose. Toby had ups and downs with Jose. So I feel like
every player does with Jose.
He does create an environment of a controversial environment. But we're gonna have to wrap.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you on after the Newcastle game. Really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your.
Thanks for coming on, Ro.
And thank you guys.
Come on, Spurs.
Take care.
Spurs.
Come on.
Another interesting guest with lots of good opinions.
Yeah.
Now we're bringing on another interesting guest. Josh is backstage.
Top Josh.
I think that is that right? Can you hear us?
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself? What did you make of the game?
It was an interesting game, very, very interesting game. I mean, we got lucky with the fixture, if you think about it. They just came back from playing 120 minutes in the Europa League. So we got lucky in the fixture. Can't lie about that. But I think individually we saw a lot of improvements, like Antonio Conte says. I think we saw it wasn't a surprise about the lineup. I mean, it was normally the normal lineup we were going to make. I thought, me personally, I didn't think Dyer had a great game. I think he had, especially in the first half, he had a couple of mistakes that could have led to a couple of goals. But I think overall it was a great game from everyone. I mean, Bentancur had 94.7% pass accuracy, and that was just incredible. I mean, for me, I think Sonny obviously is man of the match, but it's close between Bentancur and him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just reading all the chat. Everyone is absolutely convinced we're going to get top 4. I mean, listen.
Can we screenshot that, please, and then
there's
keep
still
it?
a long way to go. I was reading it on my phone as well, but I'm gonna ask you this question. I'll ask it. Do you know? I'm gonna ask it to you now, Josh.
Yeah.
Do you think Tottenham will get top 4?
Um,
He's not as confident as the guys in the chat, is he?
I have to be confident. I have to believe in my team, and I have to say yes. I do think we're going to get top four.
Does your heart
because
agree with your head on top four?
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That's all
And
I
I'll
wanted to
explain
hear.
you why.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Tottenham Hotspur, we have been beating Arsenal in the past so many
5 years.
seasons. I mean, we've been higher than them in all the past couple of seasons, and now if we think about the fixtures that they've got compared to what we've got, it's like you guys just discussed. It's not that that equal. I mean, Arsenal have much more of a difficult fixture list than us. I think like you guys said about about Norwich, that's our last game. Brentford also we got.
Yeah,
I mean,
Burnley.
we
We've
got
got a lot of
three
favourable
three
teams.
relegation teams to play.
It's
Yeah,
just what Tottenham
three
team turns up.
relegation teams to play.
yeah.
And also
yeah.
Arsenal don't have as much as of a depth squad as Tottenham Hotspur have. I mean, yeah,
Would
they
you-
don't.
Would
Yeah.
you rather play 3 relegation teams or play 3 mid-table teams? I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why I asked the question. Might sound here. Relegation teams are there because they're playing poor.
Yeah, but you say that, but
Yeah.
they are, they're trying to survive. I'd rather play Brighton every day of the week than play someone
Norwich.
not necessarily Norwich, but
Or
I'd rather play
Watford.
Brighton over Burnley.
Yeah.
Burnley, it's tough. It's always a low-scoring game. Unless
Because the mid-table teams got nothing to
nothing
fight
to play
for.
for. They're just playing for pride, really.
They're just playing for pride, but they can play in an open, expansive sort of risk-based football, whereas the relegation teams are like fighting
Shut down shop.
Yeah,
Every point matters.
and that could stunt their risk. They can be very risk-averse. Like they can be, more. They play that safe football, trying to nick a goal off a corner or
agree.
something. So I don't know. I mean, what about you, Josh? Would you rather play mid-table teams or?
I agree. I think playing mid-table would be much more helpful, much not easier. I never say easier because for me the Premier League, even Norwich, is a huge game. I mean, it's not a huge game compared to City, obviously, but it's a big game. Norwich
everyone
aren't
can
that
beat
bad.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Premier League, everyone can beat anyone, anytime, any day. Maybe if we're talking about Serie A or La Liga, it's a different type of situation. But I think, yes, I agree. I think I'd much rather play a mid-table team in the last couple of games of the season than play lower teams because they've got pride, and that's a lot of pressure on you when you're fighting for pride. You want to show the fans, okay, this is what we are about. Even though we're going down, or even though we have got nothing to do, we're still going to fight for pride.
Does that second goal today, the defending, worry you going into this last 9 games now? Because teams will exploit that. Teams will exploit that against Spurs. They will get men in the box on set piece occasions because, the analysis on Spurs the first thing at the top of the list will be set pieces. I mean, our manager's saying it in press conferences. We are crap at set pieces. How much does that worry you now? Because we saw it again today, just the lack of concentration and marking and, professionalism at the back on that corner.
Yeah. So I agree. I think a lot of it comes down to the communication. Because we've seen in the previous matches that the communication between the defenders are not good. We see how Dyer is good at commanding all the defenders to do, but it's not at the same time. And many times it's the wing backs who are leaving their players, and then their players are going and scoring the goals. For instance, today it was Doherty / Sonny. I mean, it was a miscommunication again.
Ben Davis, yep.
Was it Davis?
Yeah, it was Davis at the back. Yeah. It's Davis,
Oh,
right?
so Davis,
Yeah.
again, defenders, miscommunication.
Yeah.
A huge thing that Tottenham have to improve.
Do you think there's going to be one of them ones, Henry, where we just have to score more than the opposition because we just can't fix this? This set-piece issue has been around for years.
It has, but then again, it's so have these players.
But do we just work to our strengths now rather than, don't get me wrong, obviously we'd love to fix our weaknesses, but do we just look at the last 8-9 games now and think we've got some of the best attacking players in the league and it's a case of attack is the best form of defence, if you know what I mean.
100%.
Yeah.
A lot of those teams, Brentford, Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle, Brighton, we will outscore them. We've got more firepower.
Yeah.
We've got Kane and Son, Kudu's playing well, Bentancur, dominating, controlling games.
Yep.
Romero putting in shifts and Dyer. The issue we've got is the same players that make the same individual errors are still going to be there. If Doherty clears that and doesn't let it dribble out, we'd won that game 3-0.
Yeah.
Son hit the post in the first half.
Well, Doherty,
3-0 up before West Ham
Doherty
even
and
scored.
Ben Davis both making mistakes in the space of a minute.
Yeah,
and we're
I mean,
1-0
it's
down.
a collection of errors.
Yeah.
You know, West Ham, we knew were dangerous.
Yeah.
I've said to everyone, you know, I was nervous. You don't get me wrong playing West Ham, but they've got bigger fish to fry. You know, they've got bigger games. Their Europa League game is more important than today. That's what's cushioning the blow. If they didn't have the Europa League on Thursday, they'd be absolutely fuming about today. Whereas, you know, their heart's on that. With like you said earlier, there's no team that we're playing between now and the end of the season, apart from Liverpool and Arsenal,
That are above us.
and are playing for
I
something.
think West Ham, had they lost on Thursday, the reaction would have been mad because they would have come for it. So we, you know, it's good they went through in a way, even though I didn't want them to win. But now I'm looking at thinking,
the benefit for them was as soon as they got that extra time Thursday, I was like,
yeah,
that's
brilliant.
it, that's them, because they're knackered. You looked at
Yeah.
you know, Rice and Zuma. I mean, they're puffing.
Yeah,
To play 120 minutes, have a day off, then you train Saturday,
yeah,
then you do recovery late Saturday night, and then you're back on the field Sunday.
yeah.
I mean, look at our records when we used to play in the Europa League. We played the Europa League last year, and then we scraped a 1-0 win against West Brom. You know, and that was like a Doherty assist.
The thing is, Thursday, Sunday football, without the squad depth of a top 3 team, you're gonna something's gonna
like
give.
Chelsea can do
Something's gonna give. Whether it's the Premier League following result, or whether it's the league competitions, you can't play in the Premier League with the squad size of Tottenham, Arsenal, or West Ham.
Yeah.
And just consistently stay in both competitions. I want to ask you this, Josh. If we finish top 4, have we overachieved?
Massively, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think yes, massively. Because if you think about where we were and how far we've come, I mean, yeah, we have.
So if your answer is we've overachieved, that means we're having a very good season now.
If I said to you on the Nuno, well, we weren't even getting shots on target, right? And we literally were. It was painful. Now that's the worst performing Tottenham team I think I've ever seen.
In terms of
We
attack.
couldn't even get a shot on target.
No, we
went something
couldn't.
Like 4. I think it was something.
But
like
we were top of the
300
league.
Yeah, I know. But if I said to you at that point,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to be right down to the. Aubameyang just scored for Barcelona in the El Clasico.
1-0 Barcelona, is it?
if I-
Away to Real Madrid.
If I said to you under Nuno and we were struggling, and that was as toxic as a fan base we've had, and don't get me wrong, it's been divided like this: Levy in, Levy out. It's always been like that. It always will be like that.
Yeah.
But that was as toxic as it could get. You know, people hated putting content out there because it was just everyone was against each other. If I said to you then, we're going to bring in the Godfather, right, and we are going to be right up there with Arsenal, I'd even take Europa League. If you said to me at the beginning of the season, would you take Europa League? Snap it up.
I would have taken Europa League at the beginning of the season as well, yep.
And now we are neck and neck
But
with
only
Arsenal.
because we
You'd
had...
be like, what are you
the
smoking?
only reason I would say that Spurs, at the beginning of the season, when we got Nuno, nobody was excited.
Yeah,
I don't even know if Nuno was excited.
Oh, we're going to make you proud. We're going to
Of
make you
course not.
proud.
Of course not. Of course not. He wouldn't, because it was everyone knew that he was our 6th choice or something like that. And when you've
It
got
took us 72 days to get him.
yeah, when you got that in the back of your mind, knowing that you've been like, well, you're not you were not the first choice, you were not the second choice, and you were definitely not the third choice. You know that at the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I need to prove something. But I mean, can I do it at a top level? I mean, I've done it with Wolves, but can I do it at Tottenham? He's always doubting himself, you know.
The thing is, you can't bring in a manager who hasn't won anything to then suddenly come in and find this new gear.
The issue we've got is Levy knows we need a trophy. He knows that more than anyone. But he penny pinches a lot and tries to buy players that will suit a system. Now we've got a director of football who a lot of people weren't happy with, and I think we could have potentially had a better January chance to win if we got a playmaker or a wing back. But now you've got a director of football and a manager that are on the same path. They both want success. Now, if we do not give Conte the tools to do this job and the money in the summer, he will walk. It's as simple as that. This manager, you know...
But he'll not just walk, he'll be touted by about 3 other clubs across Europe.
He went over to the Serie A, took the title off Inter Milan, dominated Italy for 3 years, then went to Chelsea,
It's a winner.
dominated the Premier League, then went back to Italy, won Inter Milan's first league title since Jose. You know, he's won trophies wherever he's been.
Yep.
We cannot. Conte will not settle for top 4.
No, he
He'll be
won't.
happy, but we've got to go at. There's 200 million.
He won't. He won't settle for a non-winning mentality.
Yeah, if we finish top 4, we get 100 million cash injected straight in from the Champions League. The TV.
Do you get 100 mil?
That's what you get. About 100 million for finishing.
I thought
4th.
you get about 50.
You go through the qualification process. You play, 1 or 2 games against, a couple of.
I think you get about 18 million a win or something like that. I can't remember what it is.
And then
anyways,
when we got to the Champions League final against Liverpool, we got 100 million through competition and then 100 million through TV rights.
Yeah.
That's how we went out and bought Ndombele, Celso, etc., Sessegnon. If we do not go and show, Conte comes out all the time and says, I mean, Josh, from doing content, that he wants to be matched with ambition as level as he is. If we don't do that, we're going to go in and Graham Potter will be the next manager of Tottenham.
The thing is, right, so Levy Out's been like growing massively over the last couple of years. Post Poch, a lot of fans have got on Levy's back. 1, for the way people think he was treated, Poch, and 2, for the player recruitment, and 3, probably for the lack of spending, right, over those 2 seasons. Now, we've had a full stadium coming onto a year since COVID was lifted, the ban was lifted, lockdown, since football stadiums reopened.
Yep.
We've had a full year of money. We've had concerts. We've had, all the skywalks, merchandise, NFL, all the good stuff. How much did we spend in the January transfer window net? So if we take away
25 million on Benson Core, and then we did 5 million up front with an obligation to buy Kulusevski for 40 million euros.
So what's that? About 65, 70 mil.
We haven't even paid for that. But you've got to remember, in the summer, we've still got to pay 50 million for Romero.
Yep.
So Levy is absolutely banking on us to get top 4.
Yep.
If we don't, not only does it make, he's got to go and spend the money.
If we don't finish top 4, right? Like the thing is, people say Arsenal need top 4, Man United need top. Of course, Man United need top 4. They're one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Arsenal need top 4. They've not had it for 5-6 seasons. We need top 4.
But even if Arsenal don't get top 4, they still spend money.
They will still spend money. They spent it last year, and they want to get back into the top 4, which is why you make the investments, right? With us, it almost feels like we have to get top 4 to make that push financially. I think is what your point is, right? I mean, Josh, where are you on that? Because is this the best chance in the last how many years have we been at the top 4? 3 years?
4.
4 seasons,
It'll
yeah.
be 4 this year.
Yeah. So we've almost started to turn it around. We're now looking at top 4, and it's so doable. Looking at the fixture list and following today's result. Yeah. I mean, where are you on? Let's say we finish top 4. Are you one of these fans that wants to wait and see what happens, or do you feel like we are going to lose Conte eventually because of the way this club is run?
So I'm making a statement saying that Antonio Conte will not leave.
Even if we don't get top 4.
Even if we don't get top 4, the reason why is because everyone's talking about how much he's a winner. Everyone knows, Antonio Conte is a winner. Antonio Conte doesn't like losing. He never loses. Okay, here's a perfect opportunity for you to show us: are you a loser or are you a winner? Okay, you have now an opportunity. Arguably the biggest challenge of your career, to get Spurs to a trophy, win Spurs a trophy. Now, are you going to quit and leave Spurs, and then you will be known as the Antonio Conte who wasn't able to win something at Tottenham Hotspur? Or will you be there for a season 2? Because we're not that far off from winning trophies, if you think about it. Our performances haven't been terrible. It's just, I feel like we need a couple more, maybe a couple more, half a season or 2, and we're back on track. We're not far away. Now, if Antonio Conte has said that he's not going to leave. And I don't understand why everyone's bringing it back in, saying, Antonio Conte might leave, Antonio Conte could leave. I understand why, but I feel like us as fans, we should think on the more important stuff and think about how Antonio Conte can improve the squad currently, because I don't think Antonio Conte will leave. I think he will stay. And if he does leave, then he will be known as the Antonio Conte who has not won something with Tottenham Hotspur at Tottenham Hotspur.
Fair enough.
One last question before we 2-0 Barcelona now as well, by the way.
2-0 Barcelona. Who scored?
Aubameyang for a brace.
Aubameyang on a hat-trick.
People said he was finished at Arsenal. Now look at him.
Anyway, Arsenal fans could do with him now, but yeah.
what do you expect out of Newcastle and Villa? Do you think Newcastle we should win? If we were to win, actually, let me rephrase that question. How many out of the last 9 games do you think we need to win to get top 4? Obviously, 9 would be a dream, but very, very
Is that including the North London derby? Yeah.
Yeah, and they haven't even fixtured that in. That is going to be either mid-April or early May.
So we got 9 games, yeah.
Yeah, we've got 9 games. Do you want me to read out the games quickly?
What are 9 threes?
27.
27 points to fight for.
I said we need 21 minimum. We got Newcastle at home, Villa away, Brighton at home, Brentford away, Leicester at home, Liverpool away, right Liverpool off. I tell you now, we never get anything there. Burnley at home, Norwich away, and then Arsenal will be somewhere in there.
Apart from Liverpool, I don't think the fan base is going to be forgiving if we lose any of those. Apart from Liverpool,
yeah, but you got to remember this is Tottenham, and we will go like this.
But then we won't get top 4.
Eventually, you know, we'll end up winning a game like Liverpool and then losing to Leicester. That's
Josh, do you feel there's something good happening here, mate? When you look at the style of football and the attacking stats, the wins, the ratio of the wins by goal margin, the defensive play, the midfield play, obviously the attacking play. Do you think there's something good happening at Tottenham that we haven't seen in a long time, or are you sort of thinking, no, you know, we're pretty much the same team we were like five games ago?
I'm not one to be pessimistic, but pessimist. But I don't think there is much of a change between the last 5 games. I think we are basing it off the opposition. It's not like when we come against Liverpool. We know Liverpool have a style of play. No matter who you are, they will continue playing their style of play. I mean, they're so good, Liverpool. And now Tottenham Hotspur, the way we prepare our match is we prepare it, I think, towards the opponent, and we'll think about what the opponent will do to try and defend what the opponent will do, and then counter on that. I think Tottenham Hotspur are in a stage where they are trying to fight for top 4. I think we are doing. We're not doing too much of a difference between the last 5 games, but I do feel like there is a little slight good thing with the performances.
I hear you, and I think there's something bubbling, mate. I do. The reason I say that is, okay, stats only tell a certain story, and they tell you a lot, obviously. But I do feel there's many relationships developing in the team, and you're right. The Leeds, the Evertons, the teams we've beaten, Brighton, all of them have been red on the form guide. 4 losses in a row, 5 losses in a row. Leeds, Everton, all of them, right? Burnley. Sorry, not Burnley, Brighton. Everton. We lost to Burnley, if anything. But I do feel like there's certain relationships developing in the team, which I'm looking at. Yeah, combinations. And obviously, listen, any successful team has different levels of relationships throughout the team, whether it's, we've always relied on Kane and Son, and that's kind of been our main relationship that we've relied on. But I feel like Kulu's coming in nicely along with Kane. I really do see something bubbling there. And I also think the Bentacle in the middle of the park, him and Højbjerg have got,
There's a relationship.
Yeah, they've got a good understanding.
Comes back. Who are you kicking out?
What was the, I don't know.
Who would you take out the team? Did you say?
Yeah, if Skip comes back now, who are you taking out? Højbjerg or Bentancur?
I wouldn't personally.
I wouldn't touch it.
If he's not broken, don't fix it. Skip's a fan. I have said this all along. We need, as much as Skip is a good player, for challenging top 4, we shouldn't have a player that young starting in a midfield that relies so much on creativity and ball playing.
Exactly.
As good as Skip is, and he'll be a fantastic impact player off the bench, diving in, challenges, this and that, and it's good to have, but,
there's too much responsibility on Højbjerg to create before Bentancur came in. Now, Højbjerg, we saw that today, Højbjerg can create, and he's tried his best to create for this team. Now Bentancur's in, Højbjerg can get back to doing the dirty work without having to necessarily create too much. And we saw Bentancur do that today. And I feel like the best DM partnerships have that ability to say, I attack, you sit back. or I'm going to take a break for 10 minutes and you push on, or I want more of the ball because the player that's marking me is not as great, so give me more of the ball, and it's using each other's strengths and weaknesses. And today Bentancur just bossed it. I don't think West Ham were expecting a Bentancur performance like that. I wasn't. I thought if anything Declan Rice and Souček would boss it, because a lot of people were saying their team, the West Ham team, gets to the Tottenham team more than the Tottenham team gets into the West Ham team.
Yeah.
But today, Rice and Souček, I mean, where the hell was Rice, man? Rice pudding. Do you know what I mean? But we got to move on, Josh.
Thanks for coming on, Josh. Really do appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, mate.
All good. Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy
Great
the rest of your
content,
evening.
guys. Great content.
Top man. Cheers, mate. It wasn't actually Aubameyang that got the goal, but not Arsenal. Barcelona are absolutely running riot. Should be 5-0, the chat saying.
Well, look, that game is probably done and dusted now.
No Benzema now. And how good of a, just quickly away from Tottenham,
Yeah.
how good of a job has Xavi done?
Yeah.
Like
Quality,
Barcelona
man.
were like 10th. He's now,
They're like fourth. They're like fourth or third now.
They're third.
They're third. Yeah.
Real Madrid have got the title wrapped up. They're 9 points clear of Sevilla. But if they win their game in hand,
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many points if
they've got 66. Sevilla have got 57.
no, on Barca, how many have Real got on
54.
Barca? How many points gap?
12, but Barcelona have got game in hand.
Yeah,
But
so
they're going away to the Bernabeu
yeah.
with a young team.
Real Madrid in the Champions League, don't forget.
Yeah, Barca played on Thursday though. They played in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Away to Galatasaray.
But you'd have to say Real Madrid are going to have the harder, obviously playing the Chelsea, right? So they've got 2 legs with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Barcelona, obviously, the draw's not been made, obviously. So Real Madrid have got a tougher running in that sense. Barca maybe, just maybe, could catch them.
Potentially. Just quickly before we get the next guest on. Real Madrid's formation is 4-2-4-0. They're not playing a striker.
Sounds like West Ham's formation when Antonio went off.
But listen, we've got another guest coming on. Tom, can you hear us? Can you hear us your end?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, mate. Tottenham,
Excellent.
obviously 3-1. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, I thought we were really good today. I thought we controlled the first half, and I was listening to what you said before, and I feel the same. I feel like we're starting to create combinations in the team. Yeah. It looks like Kulusevski really enjoys playing with Kane up front, and obviously Højbjerg and Bentancur in the midfield. That's working out well as well.
Romero and Dyer.
Romero and I think Romero coming back as well, that gives us so much more of a solid base as well at the back. And I kind of feel like we've turned a corner of late. Like I know it's been up and down, isn't it, the last few weeks and everything. But I think ever since sort of probably the Wolves and Southampton game, we then beat City, and I know we had a couple of dicey games after that. But overall, I feel like things are moving in the right direction, and performances are improving, and I think there's a bit of team spirit coming back now, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. We've won 4 of the last 5 games, and we probably should have got something at Man United. Some missed a couple of chances, but the one thing we've all Spurs fans have been badgering on about is consistency. You can't put Harry Kane have a masterclass against Burnley, and then not Burnley, City, and then lose to Burnley. We need this consistent run of games, and it, like you said, we're turning a new corner. We look like we're playing better today. Like you even said, Josh, first 20 minutes of today, we were excellent, weren't we?
We were fantastic. I think on your point, Tom, so I'll take you back to when we lost 2-0 home at Wolves.
Oh.
Yeah? Sorry to have to take you back there, but I'm going to take you back there for a minute. The reason I say that is we had in our starting lineup Davinson Sanchez, Harry Winks, and Lucas Moura in that game.
And
right.
Since then, is that the last game they all 3 of them played?
Exactly. That's the last time that NBA Sessignon as well, who was struggling at the time for
Was
form.
he carrying a knock? Because I think he went off for a couple of weeks.
He went off. Now, today's team, it's not too different. It's 3 players, whatever, but the quality that we've got in the team compared to then, would today's team have not bad Wolves, but given Wolves a better game, you could argue they would have. So if you look at the personnel that was on the pitch against Wolves, and then we went to City next and won 3-2. Yeah. And then we've been on a mini run, bar Burnley, right?
So 4 games of the last 5. Obviously, the loss we had was 3.
So for me, there's something going on.
There's
something going on.
Tom, Josh has been saying the last couple of guys we've had on, he feels something is building. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think, it's taken a bit of time, and it's still sort of up and down, and I feel like we're still trying, but to find a bit of consistency. But in terms of the attacking, we're a completely different team to what we were like at the start of the season. We create chances now. We move the ball well. Like even you mentioned, like we're even getting performances out of Doherty now and Reguilon, like they haven't been there really, I don't think. So I feel like it's moving in the right direction. And, you look towards the end of the season now, we've got really good fixtures, Arsenal have got tough fixtures, and the other thing I wanted to say as well is, it's our front three that really excites me at the moment. Like, Kulu, Son and Kane, it looks like they enjoy playing together, and it looks like we're creating chances. We created a lot of chances today and also against Everton. You look at Arsenal, they've only really got Lacazette. I know Saka and Martinelli are okay as well, but they've only really got one out-and-out striker. So I feel like
he's only got one goal in play all season.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Lacazette.
How many goals he's got?
Sorry, I was reading the chat, and we talk about Arsenal? You said about Lacazette.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has one goal in play, 4 penalties.
Oh, in play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Penalty king. I mean,
So
the thing is, we've beaten some weak teams, and we beat a West Ham, potentially a tired West Ham team without their best player. Antonio goes off.
Quality in that team, though.
No, that's still a good team. Still a good team. Their best player, their one and only striker that has been a pain in the ass for us recently, last few years, goes off. Obviously they're tired, whatnot. They've probably got one eye on the draw. I mean, not the draw, the quarterfinals. We haven't really played that much quality. We haven't played quality opposition since Man City, Man United. Ronaldo turned up, even though I thought we played okay.
Yeah,
right?
and we notoriously we've got a tough record there, at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
I know we had a couple of good games under Bow, and we had that game where Lucas Moura scored a brace, but how many times have we come away from there and got absolutely thumped?
Yeah. But I mean, our XG, even when we've lost, has been good.
Yeah.
Right? We've created chances. And Conte said this himself. He said, I see good things, and he wasn't upset after Man United. I thought he was going to go mad because of the defensive errors.
He's very emotionally reactional, as a coach.
But I thought he was going to go mental because of the errors against United, the lack of discipline in defending. Because we did literally give Ronaldo, go and have a day out, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, his first goal, Dyer backing off, and then he goes like that. If that's Romero, he's diving in head first to put his body on the line.
But I'm with you, Tom, because I know we've played weak opposition, right? We played, teams that are struggling and probably the worst form teams. Yeah. But we are playing good attacking football. The XG proves it, the stats prove it, the goal difference proves it. Today we showed it again. I'm not sure we're doing the team a disservice because you have to beat what's in front of you. And yes, we played some weak teams. And bar Liverpool, looking ahead, Tom, I don't see anyone that can beat us. Do you agree with that? Or
I do. I think, I agree. I think the Liverpool game, that's always hard. We never do well at Anfield. But the rest of the games, I think we can, we've got to take each game at a time. The next game against Newcastle, that's going to be, they've improved, but I still think we can win that one. And then I think we've got Brighton at home. We've got a game in between that.
We've got Newcastle away, and then Villa at home, and then Brighton away. Oh, sorry, Brighton at home. So Villa's our next away game after Newcastle.
Villa away after Newcastle. Yeah. So they're all. I reckon if we can get 7 points out of those next 3 games, which I think it's doable with the way we're playing at the moment. I think that would be a good return. Two home wins, a point at Villa. And I'm pretty sure that Arsenal are going to be dropping points between, in the next few games. Their games are difficult.
Yeah.
So
100%, they've got very difficult games.
we just need to just keep the foot on the gas at the moment. And that's the thing that excites me is that the team, I feel like we're coming into a bit of form now, but also the fixtures are good.
Favourable fixtures, aren't they?
So if we get top 4, is it an overachievement?
100%. How can it not be? We went from not even getting shots on target under Nuno
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning.
But hold up. With the players and the manager we've got, is top four now going to be an overachievement?
Yes.
Forget Nuno.
100%, yeah. Before we had Benton, I know we've Benton and Kulusevski have done well, but for Tottenham to get in the top four, right, with having one striker in our club, not being disrespectful, but at times awful wing backs. You know, Son can be fantastic, then can take his foot off the gas. Before Kulusevski, we didn't really have a solid right winger. We don't have a playmaker in the team. Our goalkeeper's 35. You know, top four Conte said it himself. It's one of his biggest achievements in his career. Arsenal have got.
I think you said it'd be like winning.
Saka.
Did he say it would be like winning the Champions League or the Premier League?
Or something like that. Yeah, they've got Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. Look at the creativity they've got.
So if Arsenal finish top four, is that an overachievement?
No, because they went and spent 130 million in the summer. They had no European competitions, albeit we had the Conference League, right? They got knocked out of domestic cups early. They got knocked out by Forest in the third round. They got knocked out of the FA Cup by.
But they've also got one striker. They've also got a squad.
They've got
lack of squad
as
depth.
well. Yeah, but I don't want to say this. I don't want to be that guy. Arsenal have got a better squad than us. They just have.
Would you agree with that, Tom?
Let's be honest.
I don't think there's much between the teams. I think they've probably played a bit more as a team this season than us.
Yeah, they've
player
more
for
time
player,
to chill, I think.
I think it's pretty balanced. I'd probably take more of our players, to be honest.
So we won 4 out of 5.
Having said that, there are a few Arsenal players.
We won 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Arsenal won 4 out of 5. Who's playing the better football?
I think we're playing the better football at the moment.
We're playing the better football, right? But okay, right, let's look at it this way, right? Our best player is Harry Kane, right? Their best player is Saka. If you take out Saka, they're still going to win games. If you take out Harry Kane, we would struggle like anything. They've still got Smith Rowe who could come and slot in, like for like. Odegaard can literally dictate games. Thomas Partey. Even Xhaka's playing well. Xhaka is pony. Xhaka is a terrible footballer. Ben White's come in and slotted in well. Ben White and Gabriel, arguably, take your Tottenham cap off and look at it as a completely neutral fan.
Yeah.
Ben White and Gabriel is a better partnership than Romero and Dyer. Dyer, before Conte, was mistake after mistake after mistake, and Gabriel is not Gabriel. Dyer was mistake after mistake.
The thing is, are they better players, or it's just the unit they're playing in is...
It's not even better players. Look how young their squad is. Their average age is 23. Our average age is 28.
Yeah, but there's experience as well there, right?
Experience, but experience in what? We haven't won a trophy. We haven't been in the Champions League in 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we've got world-class players like Harry Kane, but I'm not being negative Nelly, but if you're an Arsenal fan at the moment, and you've got Ramsdale, you've got Saka, you've got Smith Rowe, you've got Martinelli, you've got Odegaard, they need one number 9 and they're up there. And if you put Kane in that team, they are right up there. And I'm not talking about top 4, I'm talking they're up there with Liverpool and City. Because they've got the foundations.
Big statement, man.
That's my point, is that I think that they might struggle with goals towards the end of the season. That's what I think. Whereas I think we've got more firepower. You know, Son, Kulu, Kane. If we can start adding some goals from elsewhere as well, you know, we need some other players chipping in as well, like Moore and Bergwijn. But I think that, you know, that potentially could be to Arsenal's downfall at the end, that they haven't signed a striker. They can't, you know, if they're pinning all their hopes on Lacazette, then I don't think that's going to come through for them at the end.
Do you know what? When I watched Watford come back against Arsenal, that was like the soft underbelly that Arsenal have got. And I still think that's got one more opportunity to rear its ugly head. That's what I'm banking on. The mentality is going to...
No one knows how this top 4 race is going to go. We could lose the next 5 or 6 games. Arsenal could lose the next 5 or 6 games. The point I was making is, you know, they've got foundations there. We've also got foundations. Kulusevski, Kane, Son, Romero, Bentancur. There's a lot of quality in both teams. It's just, if you were a betting man at the moment, you probably would edge close. It'd probably be like 60-40 Tottenham when you look at Arsenal's games. But we have, I don't want to use that word, but there is a word in the background that always happens to us.
Does it start with S?
Yeah, it does start
with S.
with
Y?
But then again, Arsenal...
Is it sorry?
You know, it's going to be an interesting season.
Look, before you go, Tom, we've got next. Any other last points you want to make, mate?
Yeah, I just think, I just wanted to sort of mention Harry. It's just so good to see him, back on form. Like sort of the passes that he made today, especially for our second goal, for Son's goal. I mean, it's just a joy to see, and I know obviously, the chips were down with Harry at the start of the season. It looked like he wasn't that, bothered anymore. But I think he's turned a corner. And when Kane plays well, we're just a different machine, and hopefully we're not too over reliant on him. But I kind of feel like, players are stepping up now, like I mentioned, at the right time. And that's what we need. We've got 9 games to go, haven't we? So we need everyone pulling in the right direction. And Kane's on fire at the moment.
Yeah, I think with the consistency of the team that he keeps choosing now, and he's back in this 11 to go and do it. We've got our bad form maybe out the window with those 2 losses at home. We turned the corner at Man City, and we are running out of lives now to flop. And I feel like with what we've got and with the running and the momentum's just come nicely, hasn't it?
Everyone's buying into it.
Everything's coming on. International break. Listen, it would be great if we were playing again on.
Fingers crossed, touch wood everywhere, that we don't get no injuries for the international break.
Well, yeah.
Because you know what happens,
Mate, I'm glad Eric Dyer's not going on.
Speaking of that, why didn't he get a call up for England?
Mate, I'm happy, mate.
Harry Maguire, albeit for Man United, is trash. For England, he's okay, but the young fullback, the young player for Palace, 20 years old, he's not a better defender than Dyer. I can't even remember his name.
It's arguable. It's debatable, man. It's debatable because if you put Romero next to Harry Maguire, or you put
Romero's much better.
or Varane next to Dyer, what happens to Dyer? You got to look at your defensive partner somewhat because that does affect your performance.
But as a back three for England, Stones, you'd probably go Stones.
Because would you start our flanks over United's flanks? Our wing backs, yeah.
I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is. Well, 9 out of 10 games is awful.
So if you put Dyer in United's team for Maguire and leave the rest as it is, does Dyer play better? Because he's playing against Varane.
You automatically become a better centre-back. Regardless of, Man United are leaking goals. The guy's a World Cup winner, a Champions League winner. He's been to the mountain and back. The issue you've got is Man United do not have good defensive midfielders, and that's why they're always exposed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you were to put a Casemiro, Toni Kroos, Prime Busquets in there to control, Harry Maguire and Varane would look elite.
Or Pierre and Bentancur.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you swapped McFred for Højbjerg and Bentancur, United would go up 10 levels.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
So Harry Maguire's got worse defensive cover in front of him.
Yeah, McTominay and Fred are awful. Aaron Wan-Bissaka...
Yeah, the Maguire-Dyer debate, I'm not convinced by Dyer just yet, and I'm not convinced by Maguire either, man. I just feel like...
80 million for Harry Maguire.
Oh, yeah, they got mugged off. Mugged
off is an understatement.
Yeah.
They've been taken to the cleaners.
They got mugged off.
Put on 180 and spun.
Yeah.
But listen, Tom, thank you very much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of the
Hold up. Are we finishing top 4, Tom?
Ooh, that's
because we're gonna when we get you back on towards May, we're gonna obviously check in with you again then.
I think we can do it. We just need to
come on.
We can or we will.
Come on.
I think we will. I think I'm confident, and I think it's between. I think it's going to be between us and Arsenal, and who knows? It could come down to that. Could come down to the derby.
I ain't seen United's fixtures. I don't know how good, if they're that bad, but I don't think we can write United out just yet, man. Because if they beat Arsenal, which I hope they do, then
I won't go to Emirates and win. That's always a boring game. It's almost like a 0-0.
Yeah.
No, you're right. United are in it as well still. But, it's just going to be who can be.
I think we've got the more straightforward fixture list out the three of us.
Man United have still got to play Liverpool.
Yep.
Arsenal.
Yep.
Chelsea.
Yep.
And then they've got away to Brighton. They always struggle there. Away to Palace. There's a few tough games in there. But you're saying we're going to get top 4, Tom, yeah?
I think so. I think
will it be an overachievement?
I think it would be on the balance of it. Yeah, I think the only team where it wouldn't be would be Man United. I think they were the team that would be expected to get it because of the players. But I'd probably say with us and probably both Arsenal, it probably
And West Ham.
And West Ham for sure. I
Yeah.
don't think West Ham are in it anymore, to be honest, after today.
Do you know, it's funny, right? And we better move on because I know we're running out of time. But just before you go, it's funny because every season you get a surprise, you know, whether it's a promoted team doing well or one of the big teams failing. And Man United are just consistently... They got into the top 4, obviously. But it's like we've got an opportunity to be in an elite position because one of the elite clubs is failing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, is this luck going to be here, continue to be here season on season? Because they will invest again. And it's like, I feel like if there was ever an important time to finish top 4 in the last, 5 years, this was it. I feel like this is the time. This feels like the Leicester season where we had a chance to win the Premier League. I'm not sure this opportunity is going to, this time next year, I'm not sure we're going to be, obviously I hope we invest and Conte stays and Kane stays, but I feel like this is it now. This is the end of an era if we don't finish in top 4. That's how I feel about this team and where we're at as a club. I feel like this will be the end of an era.
Good point there.
Yeah. Right.
Listen, Tom, thank you very much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your evening and take care. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Take care. Cheers, guys.
I believe that was the last viewer of the fan cams. Barcelona are 3-0 up now.
Wow.
Just getting out of van. But yeah, listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in to the watch along and the fan cams. Make sure you go over to Spurs Debate and subscribe to Josh and show some love on there.
Spurs Debate TV.
Yeah, Spurs Debate TV.
Because there is another Spurs Debate out there, but he hasn't tweeted for about 4 years. So don't go to him. Come to me.
But yeah, go over to Henry Wright TV and subscribe as well. I will be doing that giveaway. I haven't had a chance to do it because I've been coming on the fan cam. So everyone in the chat is saying, oh, he hasn't done it. I will do it. Don't get me wrong, it will happen very, very shortly. Make sure you subscribe to Tottenham Fan TV. And 3-1.
3-1 to the Spurs.
3 points, 3 goals, international break now.
I got a prediction right.
Yeah. So,
me and Henry on a winning start.
Yeah.
Winning debut.
I've been on here since we lost the Premier League game, yeah.
Okay, so you've never lost the Premier League game in the studio?
Every watch along I've done on here, we have not lost the Premier League game.
So you're going to do the next 3 or 4 watch alongs?
I'm doing Newcastle and Villa.
All right. And if we lose, you're never doing one again?
Yeah, something like that. Listen, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all very, very soon. And always, come on, you Spurs.